So it is time for another podcast. This one is 2021, June, and it's go time. We're still heading up County Road 5, and there's a lot of red in the group today. Ilka has once again rejoined us. She's just fresh back from Germany, and she's feeling pretty comfortable riding group rides again. And she's even on her carbon bike for the first time, I believe, in a long time on a Tuesday ride where she'd been riding the gravel bike and really looking strong on the gravel bike, but she's exceptionally strong on the carbon bike. The stop sign is ahead, everyone's ordered, and there was a stiff crosswind coming off our left shoulder on this one, so it put a lot of people into a bit of distress. I had to go to the front and talk to one gentleman about some of the pace, but that's here nor there. We roll into the stop sign, and there's a couple of recalcitrants to the side. They just keep rolling. This is not the correct thing to do, especially when there's cars. But it's good that Ilka and Byron do the right thing and make the correct stop. There's enough horsepower back here that I'm not worried about non-GC guys going up the road and doing any damage. In any case, it's time to get the party started, and I'm going to move to the front. And I'm kind of a little dismayed here because not a lot of people grabbed my wheel right away. I don't know if this is a sign of disrespect or what it is, but I think I need to go out and prove that they need to be on this a little quicker. Byron, of course, it looks like he realizes that there is danger, or he at least wants to be part of the action. Maybe a lot of the initial apathy was people looking around for others to do the work. And on today's ride, we didn't have a lot of the big men. Yes, Matthew Michaels was there, but he didn't charge his DI2. And so his front derailleur was, well, not working. I'm thinking in hindsight, I don't know if those batteries are interchangeable. I probably would have swapped the front and the rear one, picked the gear in the back, and just had the front two to go between. But hey, it's not me, and I don't really know anything about DI2. So I'm throwing it down up front, 300 watts, trying to make something happen early. Everybody's strung out, maybe for two reasons. One, because there's a crosswind off our left shoulder, and two, because I am making them work. Now, this is good and bad. The good is I'm kind of burning myself out at the front a little bit. I'm a little bit weary from the weekend rides, but it will cause an early selection, and this will keep people from sleeping and looking for somebody else to take up the charge. They should get up there, get up to speed, and not wait for somebody else to pull them up. Because many of the big men, when they do move, they aren't at the correct speed and they can't latch on. At this point in the ride, it looks like there has been a selection. Byron, the strong man, although he's been on vacation, a Cat 3 is still a Cat 3, or in other words, a half-empty can of whoop-ass is still a can of whoop-ass. So there goes Josh Sturgeon to the front, and he's a ramming and a thumping. Hadn't seen him here in a while, but it's good to see that he's there. Everybody makes the corner safely. There were no cars coming, so the yellow line was good, but it could have been a little sketchy if there were cars up there. So I'm going to bring back Josh slowly, still throwing out a ton of watts here, and there's a little bit of wind, so I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to recover. The sad part is that there's not a whole lot of shelter here, and I really want to be on Josh's right hip, but I can't, because there's really no room. And this is the problem, and this is causing me to just waste energy. I'm thinking, maybe someone will take over at this point, or maybe an echelon will form, but that's not going to be the case today. I don't know if Josh realizes, or if he wants help, but if he were over just a little bit over to the left, I could have gotten a little bit of shelter here. Matthew Michaels makes it to the front, and you notice the cadence that he's keeping. I mean, he is just spinning like a madman. I'm guessing that cadence is like 120, 130, and I know he's not going to be able to keep that. His normal cadence, just for reference, is 70. And so at this point, he's gotten his camera time. Thank you very much for your work and your service. See you again next time. Charge that battery. and be ready. Byron's behind, looking good. I take over from Josh, and now I've got the lead again. And everybody is strung out, or should I say, mostly guttered. Now I'm kind of surprised, or maybe I'm not surprised, that folks didn't try to form a couple little small echelons instead of being guttered. But maybe they don't care. You have the balance here, like being out in the road a little bit or being guttered. And at this point, everyone is strung out and there is work being done because everybody is in the wind. It looks like Wilhelm's like coming close, like he's trying to catch, but it's gonna probably be like too little too late. And at this point, I believe I've been shelled off of Byron's wheel because I in fact was guttered up there. And I thought about like asking him, like, "Hey, can you give me some shelter? Move over a little bit, whatever, whatever." But he's seasoned, and I figured I didn't have that much today anyhow, so I figured I would just work it out. I'm not even certain I could really have sat on his wheel. Looking behind, yes, indeed, I am gaining ground on people, and they are falling back, and there is nothing but disorganization in arrears. Yeah, and as you can see, Byron has shelled me. It looks like there's shelter here to the right here, but when he was in front, there was no shelter, and so I was basically suffering. For some reason, my heart rate monitor wasn't working again. I don't know if I don't have enough salt or whatever, but it looks like from my data, it was working for the first 30 minutes into this ride, and then like kaput. So I don't really know what my heart rate was. In any case, looking at my wattage, I'm pretty gassed here. And so all I can do is just try to hold a reasonable wattage and hold off the hounds. Stuck here in no man's land, if there was any kind of organization back here at all, they should be able to bring me down. For a couple of reasons. One, I'm not that strong. And three, I'm kind of tired from the weekend. Old Fall River Road on Sunday. Um, Saturday was a sore ride, and then before that was like Friday. So I was pretty spent here. So Dean is coming up. I'm not certain why Dean dropped to the back. Maybe he likes to play games and do intervals. I'm not really certain, but he's coming up to help your favorite announcer and cameraman. That would be me. So Dean makes the bridge. Don't know why Wilhelm and Josh and those guys couldn't grab Dean's wheel, but I'm guessing he just came by too quickly. So Dean like makes some room for me very nicely, and we're chatting here. He's trying to bring me up to Byron at this point, and I'm pretty much gassed. He's hoping to launch me a little bit until I'd have enough to finish it off, but I'm just spent from the weekend. No glycogen really. My legs are burning and on fire, and I'm just happy to be able to sit in behind Dean. And maybe I'm grateful that the other riders didn't have the wherewithal to see Dean coming or the sprint ability. So Dean's gassed. I'm thinking to myself, okay, this isn't going to happen. And Byron at some point had looked back and he has basically just checked out. And this is a good example of what a Cat 3 can do to the rest of us. Dean manages to sort of grab my wheel. I'm giving him a little bit of shelter. He's working hard. And maybe he's going to be able to come around one more time and give me some assistance. With the big heart that he's got, he doesn't have to sit back there very long to get any kind of recovery. And if I was just a little bit fresher, this might have been a different story. Regardless, I'm resigned to a good workout and to be safe. So Dean is pulling here pretty hard, and at this point, his recharge cycle is half of probably what it was the first time. So on a little bit here, I'm going to be left on my own to try to bring back Byron, or at least assure myself a good place in the standings here. Yeah, you can't even see Byron up the road. I think the word is, in fact, checked out. One of the biggest winning margins in a long time. And a lot of this is due to the crosswind and lack of coordination and lack of big men here, too. I mean, there's no Dean. Well, there is Dean, but he's a little bit tired. There's no Danny Evans. There's no Carey. I don't know where Curtis and Joel were. None of the big men were up here to mount any kind of chase. And with the crosswind like that, and if you're not coordinated, it's pretty much game over. So I'm hoping that I'll get a second place here. Wilhelm's coming pretty hard, but I think I've got enough to hold him off. So I'm going hard, but not super hard because, well, I think I've got this wrapped up. In fact, it's kind of boring here. There's not many people to talk about. The good news here is because of the crosswind and everyone being guttered, not many people were out in the road. So we could thank the wind for that. And I don't know if it was what was going on here, but I really am surprised that there weren't some smaller echelons being formed back there. Maybe just 3 riders rotating. I'm pretty certain that Wilhelm and Curtis and Joel were back there working together. And Josh, they could have brought me back earlier. But I'm okay with the lack of coordination. It's fine. I'm going to get my workout and I'm going to get a podium spot. So I'm working hard. I didn't realize how hard Wilhelm was coming. I did it at some point here, but we're almost there. And I think I threw in a little 500-watt surge. Yeah. And so I get it. It's a good workout. Everybody's happy. I'd have been happier if I could have stayed on Byron's wheel, but he was just going. And you could see the ease when he was like going up the hill, reaching for the water bottle, sitting up. It was almost like the silverback thumping his chest. It's like, I own all of you. This is not much of a challenge here. I'll just sit up, and if somebody comes, I'll deal with it, but I don't think anybody's going to come. Yeah, excellent posturing. Anyway, good job, Wilhelm. Everybody else, I can't see who's back there. Thanks, Dean, for the come up there for a little bit. That was an impressive bridge. I'm just kind of surprised that a lot of the riders didn't take notice or didn't make an accelerated effort to grab the wheel. Anyway, a good time was had by all.